Well, that winter sun sets pretty quick out here in the bush, but that's gonna not darken my excitement for today's video because we have a refresh of a design that I think the design really hit home, but the execution just wasn't there. And I'm talking about the blade that's right here on my belt, and it is the BPS Knives BUSHMATE 2.0. Now, this is designed by the guys over at Dutch Bushcraft Knives. If you are into blades and you're on YouTube, you should be subscribed to them. You should have seen dozens of their videos, if not more. And if you're not, you need to. They are awesome blade testers, gear testers, super entertaining. They know their stuff. And they have originally, one of their first kind of budget designs, they partnered with the guys over at BPS Knives and came out with the BUSHMATE. I tested that original design and I found two significant problems, not in the design itself, but actually in the execution by BPS Knives. And so I wasn't alone in that because obviously they've done a refresh and released the 2.0 version of the BUSHMATE. So in today's video, we're not only going to see what they've changed, have they addressed the issues on the original or not. And so let's head on back to the Blade Bootcamp, start breaking down these blades. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. Now, I bought both of these blades to test out and review. DBK has no idea that I'm making this video, haven't communicated with them whatsoever. Now, as we dive in, there's one thing right out of the gate that I'm sure you notice compared to the original to the 2.0 is the grind. The original came with a saber grind. The new comes with a Scandi grind. And having used both of these blades, I'm glad they transitioned over to the Scandi grind. It definitely outperforms the saber. Even though I like the kind of staining and profile and I love saber grinds, the edge from the factory was so small and short that it just didn't quite perform like this Scandi version does. This one just eats up material regardless if it is man-made, you know, going through hemp rope and cordage and rubber and all that stuff, but also when you do woods working. The woods working, it just bites right in what a Scandi grind is, you know, intended to do, and it's going to perform really well. I was really pleased with it. I mean, just eats up the wood for, you know, bush tasks. I mean, it's a BUSHMATE, it better be able to work in the bush, and this Scandi grind outperforms the original saber. Now, other than that, it has very similar dimensions. I mean, they're really not going to notice a whole lot in that regard. Still rocking a 4-inch blade, an 1/8 of an inch thick. Will have a 90-degree spine to throw sparks. I mean, it just launches them, and you can scrape with it all day, do all those type of things. Now, it's rocking 1066 carbon steel. Reminds me of the Battle of Hastings, 1066. 1066 carbon steel, basic carbon steel, right? I've used it on many BPS knives in the past. They do an HRC of 57 to 59. So what that means is it's tough, it's durable, even with the Scandi grind, batoning, slamming through stuff, you know, cutting. It's holding a good edge for that type of steel. It's not going to win any awards in edge retention, but it's very easy to get a terrifyingly sharp edge back on it. I mean, a couple runs on a ceramic rod and then strop it, and you're going to pop hair. I mean, that's how this holds up. And again, durable, but it's uncoated. It's carbon steel based, you know, so you're going to have to, you know, just maintain it. Maybe put this is the type of knife at 50 bucks, you know, I mean, and I'll have links popping up in the description box below for the competitive options and everything we're talking about to the affiliate net links I partner with and programs I partner with throughout the video. But at 50 bucks, which is what I paid for that, the steel, the performance, it'd be fun to, you know, like do some modding. It allows you to do some of that, maybe do like a mustard patina or something along those lines. And as we approach the crossroads of this video, it's the perfect time to share a little bit about today's sponsor, which is Bear Watches. And for the past several months, I can attest that their lineup delivers on all fronts. But there is one that has stood out to me, and as soon as it came back into stock, I had to get my hands on, and it's the C5 AmeriQuartz Dirty Dozen model. Inspired by the legendary military watches of World War II, this timepiece blends heritage and modern performance. Provided by its US-built FTS AmeriQuartz movement, 40-month battery life, and it's being assembled right here in the United States. And they protect all those moving parts with a 100-meter water-resistant rating, with locking screw-down crown, 316L stainless steel body, and a single dome sapphire crystal face with AR coating. And that's just a fancy way of saying this isn't gonna scratch very easily. And with Vare's quick change wristband system, and the Dirty Dozen comes with your choice of 2, this allows you to do a quick change in seconds, changing the entire style and vibe of the watch. And these are just a few of the main designs and features that Vare watches carry. So I'm gonna have a link popping up here as well as in the description box below so that you can hop on over to their site, start exploring all the different models and what they bring to the table so that you can stay on time for all of your upcoming adventures. Now we got to confront the 2 issues I had with the original. The first is the sheath. Now, the sheath on the original was so bad I actually don't even know where it is. I buried it somewhere. Thankfully, I had a backup BPS, just kind of main taco one. The tension on that, the way that it was designed with the over strap, and you can check out the original review if you want to. I'll have it popping up. I'll try and run in the footage of it. The way it was designed, there was no tension, and basically you turn it upside down and it just basically fall out of the sheath, which is not good when you're relying on tension. And the strap just was redundant, didn't work. And so the sheath was just kind of a non-starter for me. And you basically had to either completely mod the sheath or get something else, which thankfully I had a spare laying around. So have they fixed that? Absolutely. This is phenomenally better than the original Bushmate sheath. If they're just relying on tension, the tension is excellent. You can always wet form. Easily able to pull the blade out. Good dense leather. BPS really does a good job with their leather. It's very thick. They even have embossed the DBK logo on there, which is just kind of a cool touch. You get a fire steel that absolutely will work and matches the handle. And then you have your nice dangler that fits on belts, or you can do kind of a higher ride if you don't like the dangler. You can take that off and just ride it that way. Good stitching. 0 complaints. They absolutely have remedied with the 2.0 the sheath problems of the original. Now this isn't the only DBK knife that I've recently purchased. I got my hands recently on the BOKER made BUSHFRIEND 2000, and stay tuned because on Sunday, and I'll have the date popping up here, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I will be doing the full breakdown on this blade. And if you're watching this video, months or years later, if it's already been released, I'll have the link to that video popping up if you want to check a more premium version with different steel, different grind, a lot of different attributes going on. You can check this one out as well. Now, the second issue that was more catastrophic and much harder to fix on the original were these pinned in handle scales. When I started doing batoning, the scales started shifting, and so they were not pinned in well enough to keep it tight and locked into place. And for budget, which is definitely what these are, $50, I would argue that that's definitely, the budget realm, particularly in 2025. But I've always seemed to have problems with, like, let's say sub $100 pinned in handle scales, not just on BPS knives, but many others, Ontarios, other things like that over the years, that they just aren't seated quite as well. The tolerances aren't there. And so there can be a lot of shifting if you do any type of impact with your blade. Well, you shouldn't be batoning with your blade anyway, blah, blah. Okay, but we do, okay, we do. We do, so they got to hold up to that. In 2025, they got to do that. So, and there are workarounds, but man, it's a kind of a nightmare, if you're going to try to fix it, and it's like at $50, why am I investing this much time and effort into this original one? So with the sheath and the handle, it was kind of a non-starter for me, and I just stopped using the blade completely. So thankfully, oh yeah, they put in, and this was what I recommended in the video, just some Allen head bolts so that you can adjust, tighten down, loosen. You can even take the scales off if you wanted to, but do your own scales, whatever. Much easier maintenance for a budget-friendly tool. But when I started batoning with this, so just with those 2 pounds, you can see there that the scales definitely shifted and raised. The tang is definitely exposed where it was not before. So I'm gonna, the benefit, obviously, are the screws. I'm going to reshift them into place, tighten them down, pound again, let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna use my little WIHA bit kit. There we go. Pretty happy with that. Now I'm gonna really cinch these down. I don't think I'll crack the wood, but that is always potential. Be smart. So there it is. After I cinched them down, no shifting whatsoever. So they just didn't come super tight from the factory, but that's what's really nice about, you know, having Allen heads like that. You just cinch it down a little bit more, you're good to go, and you can do your own maintenance. So I would say that they have absolutely remedied the issues that were attached to the original model with this 2.0 introduction, even the handle itself. You know, you have 4 inches from guard to bird beak, which is easily gonna span my large size glove hands with plenty of real estate out the back. They're giving you good girth, no sharp angles, you know, all the shoulders are rounded, 0.72 on the thickness with no tapering, nice 45-degree shoulders right there for pinch pull grips, things like that. You know, not gonna create a hot spot for hours and hours of use around camp. And then you have just a slight guard right there, just enough to lock you into place and give you better traction than, say, like a Puko. So for $45, $50 price point, I mean, they have absolutely executed everything that I would look for, and I can't find a single issue with this 2.0 design. And I have 2 competitive options real quick, and I'll have a link popping up. I can't remember if I said that earlier, as well as in the description box below, to these, as well as to the other designs that I'm gonna run in here, to the affiliate networks that I partner with. Now, this is like a classic, you know, like old world, old style with like wood handles, leather sheath. If you're wanting something more modern, then a good option in the high value arena is the ODENWOLF knives W series. Go watch the full review popping up here on this. I paid $35 for this model. I was so blown away. I got their full flat grind version, the Scandi version, D2 steel, full tank construction, rubberized overmolded handle though. So that's what's kind of different, 90-degree spine. These things were tough as nails with that D2 steel. Go watch the video. In the full flat grind version was like weren't doing, like sprung right back into place. That is a freaking wild video. And then you get ambidextrous, you know, polymer sheath. So an excellent, like high value, more modern option if you're looking for that, or you just want to, you know, you're just wanting to make a collection of high value Scandis or full flats. And then on the flip, you know, the Adventurer from BPS, if you just maybe want something a little bit larger, something like that. You know, same steel, similar grind, similar, you know, materials, great leather sheaths, fire steel, right around that same price, just larger. So there are just a couple quick viable options for you guys to consider as well. But yeah, home run, absolutely a great high value bushcrafter. The BUSHMATE 2.0. Leave a comment below what you guys think, especially if you own one of these newer versions. And if you guys have questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comment section below. Check out the other videos, subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for that BUSHFRIEND 2000 coming up soon, that video. And always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. I'll see you out there.